Alright, I tried to do this just like a couple seconds ago, but the video borked. I wanted to go through how to get the Helminth and then what it does. So if you're here on your ship and you are on your way to mastery rank 8th, and or you just got to mastery rank 8, and let's say you've also been lucky enough to complete the Heart of Deimos quest, because this is the requirement for the helmet. Once you got all that locked out or locked in, and say you maybe have a little purple cyst on your neck on your Warframe, and boom, you have this little door and you're like, what is this? So this is the Helminth system. The Helminth lets you pretty much, you can either remove cysts, probably some of you have already done this. Once you have your segment, you can name it. Mine's called Gnosis, but what you normally will do is feed it Warframes, base Warframes, because there are primes and they're the base ones. The Helminth kind of acts as like a dumping ground for some early game or just resources that you may have excess of, because you are already far along in the game, right? And or say you just don't plan to play a Warframe and you just want the subsume, right? Like I have Nourish from Grendel, don't really plan on playing him unless it's the Prime or I eventually get it one day. The Roar, Smite from Oberon, and Terrify from Necros. I had already farmed for and built Oberon since I was getting a second one and I needed the Warframe slot. I subsumed him, built Dante, then now I have Oberon again. Don't know what I'll do with that, but we'll see, right? And then we have Roar from Rhino. I don't really plan to play him in my rotation, but if I get the Prime, so be it. But I wanted to get the Roar here. I do eventually plan on getting all of the different Warframes so that I can subsume them. That way we can test out different builds, especially with Noko. But I mostly use Roar, don't plan to use Nourish. I've been playing around with Smite with Noko. If you're a newish player, say if you wanted to figure out like what subsumes should you go for first, I would say Roar. Roar is probably one of the best ones to get. And then I believe you can unlock arbitrations after maybe around Mastery Rank 8. I know you can unlock it around the new war quest. Around after that, you'll want to farm arbitration quests. I'll show you where they're at after, before we go to the Helminth after this, because you'll want to run the arbitrations, and then I'll even show you where to get Grendel, because Nourish is really good for your build. Roar, you can get Rhino, you can get that really early. Grendel, I'll show you how to get that as well. Or actually, you know what? I might make a separate video. So if you're seeing this, we're going to have a separate video on how to get Nourish in the Grendel Helminth, because not a lot of people may know how to do that. And that's a question I had, and I know people might Google that. And I don't want to interrupt this video. So boom, that's what we're going to do. So let's go to the next segment. When you want to use these here, you're going to have to feed them resources. So what you'll have to do is click feed Gnosis or feed whatever you pick, and then based on whatever resource or item that you need here, it's like you need oxides, calcs, it'll tell you kind of what they are. You can then feed them to the Helminth, and you know, feeding it argon crystals is a really good way to level it up, just because I'm not going to use a lot of these. I was just doing a mission. I don't think I'm going to need, and if so, I can just, you know, go far more. But argon crystals expire, you can feed them to here, and then now my bile's leveled up. This will also help me level up the metamorphosis here. So let's watch this. We're gonna feed, actually let's see if we can level it. Let's see if we can add anything else. Let's add some nanospore just for the fun, right? And then boom. And oh, we were close. But as you can see, you know, adding the resources in there gets you closer to your rewards. What would my next reward be? At 8, I would have Sentient Appetite. Feed sentient resources to the Helminth to increase its appetite for one resource that's no longer craved. So yeah, so the more the more you add resources you add, the more Warframes you add, the more you infuse abilities onto your Warframe that helps level it up. And then you'll eventually have to level it up so that way you can get unlimited subsume slots. Right now I have 20 subsume slots, so I can only have 20 Warframes in here. I don't think I even have that many. There are a lot, and there are 75 total consumable abilities that you can add. So it kind of lets you mix and match and play around with your characters and kind of make them better and kind of fit your playstyle. If there's just like another ability that doesn't really work with a character and you need it to work with what you're with your, you know, style. And then let's go ahead and make our way over to the navigation. I did just pick up the Legion polearm here. I felt like it fit the theme a little bit. So what you want to do is go over to navigation, make your way over to here to Deimos. You'll want to go to the Necrolisc. Right now it's Halloween, so it's Knights of Nabarus, but it's Necrolisc. You want to click on that. You want to go to a calm room. Once you load in, it'll take a few seconds for sure, but it'll be worth it, you know? And there are a few ways you can go about getting the Helminth, because you're going to need to raise your daily, well, not your daily standing, but you're going to need to raise your reputation rank. So there's going to be a few ways to do that. One of the ways, oh, here's Otek. Sorry, I don't need to talk to you, Otek. One of the ways I go about doing that is by speaking to Mother. You can do the bounties here. So I like to do you probably either do for science, and if you're on Steel Path, you can do anomaly retrieval. For each one, that'll give you about 150. And then, so it's about, you get maybe about 15,000 per run, right? If you do all 150, and then because I think it's 100 per each, right? And that yeah. So you get a decent amount, and then you can but if you go to Sun, you can browse wares. Then you can get you a trank rifle, and you could probably go save the wildlife. But what you'll need to do is, when you get through your standing and you get around rank 3, you'll be associate. That's where I'm at. That's kind of where I stopped to kind of take a break and keep progressing with the game. I need to come back here and level it up. I am in the process of doing that myself. I started with finishing up Hex. That way I can get the in-game item from them. Well, pretty much the in-game raid for the Hex, because I wanted to start doing a little bit of that. And then I went to, what was it? The Anaton. Well, I don't remember the name. It's the zone right before the Hex with actual human Lloyd and Tragfer and all them. I'll go look at that when we're done. And I'm working on their reputation next, just because they give a weekly Archon shard, which is really nice. And they have the Helminth Coalescence shard. I needed that as well because I had already gotten this. But you'll want to get the Helminth segment here. This will unlock the Helminth, and then you can watch my other video that I was just talking about, and that'll help you pretty much get even further. Because what you'll do eventually is you'll get these things called Archon shards after you unlock the Helminth, and that allows you to further build your character. I'll do some spoilers at the end of the video, but here you'll want to get this. Is about 15,000 standing, and you'll have to be rank 3. You'll also be able to get Vicious Bond, Seismic Bond, Contagious Bond, and Duplex Bond. All this is really good for your pets. These mods are really good for your companions. And then you should also be able to get these antigen and mutagen blueprints, and this will allow you to start breeding your Predacytes and Vulpaphyla. There we go. And yeah, so you'll buy this. You'll need the Trank Rifle to get the purple Velocipod tags. You'll go hunt a little bit. Make sure you get your reputation up, guys. But once you've done that, you can exit the Necrolisc, build that. It'll take about 24 hours to build, and you'll be building it here at your foundry. Once you do that, it'll redirect you to come back over here to your Helminth. You'll plug that in, and that's where you'll name your Helminth and be able to do all this. And then later on in the game, that's where you'll get the Archon shards, and you'll be able to add these in there to do the Archon shards. I'll do a video on how to get that, because you have to go through a quest, and it's not that bad. But yeah, that should help you get the Helminth system going right there, and that'll kind of help take you to the next level. So yeah, one of the first Warframes you'll want to get if you don't plan on using them is Rhino. Add them in here, get Roar. You can add Roar on any of your Warframes. It is going to be at a reduced cost, but it'll help you do a little bit more damage. And I know a lot of builds call for Rhino's Roar. And yeah, I think that is everything you need to know for the Helminth system. Because yeah, pretty much all you do is go to Deimos. You need to go to Deimos twice to get both segments, but you'll get that one there. And then the Coalescent segment is at Sanctum. Yeah, Sanctum and Atomica. But hopefully that helps you out. That helps you get a little bit further in the game. It helps you finally bridge the gap of Steel Path and start making your builds even better. Make sure to like and subscribe, and I will see you guys next time. Peace out.